Life moves fast, and so should the answers to your biggest questions. Welcome to Endo Batteries Quick Connect, your direct line to expert insights. Short, powerful, and right to the point. You send in the questions, I bring in the experts, and in just 5 minutes, you get the knowledge you need. No long episodes, no extra time needed. And just remember, expert opinions shared here are for general information and not for personalized medical advice. Always consult your provider for your case-specific guidance. Got a question? Send it in, and let's quickly get you the answers. I'm your host, Alana, and it's time to connect. Today, I am honored to welcome Laura Bloom to the table. Laura is the president and CEO of the Ehlers-Danlos Society, where she leads global efforts in research, collaboration, education, and care advancement for people living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility spectrum disorders, and related conditions. What makes Laura's work so powerful is that it sits in the intersection of medicine, policy, and lived experience. She spent over a decade pushing for patient engagement and global collaboration, work that's taken her from grassroots advocacy to advisory roles with organizations like the World Health Organization, Rare Diseases International, and academic institutions, including Penn State College of Medicine. Please help me in welcoming Laura Bloom to the table. Can you give us just a quick overview of EDS and what it is and how the different subtypes vary?
Absolutely. So there's the Ehlers-Danlos syndromes and there's hypermobility spectrum disorders. And EDS, there's 13, 14 types, depending on what paper you read. But the 2017 criteria is 13 types of EDS. All of them but the hypermobility type are rare and ultra rare. And we know the pathogenic, so the disease-causing variant in those. You can have a genetic test to get diagnosed with them. But the hypermobile type, although there's been a lot of advancement in that area, we still don't yet know the marker behind it. And we also believe it's not rare. So that one is quite prevalent, as with the same with HSD. And there's also been a huge body of work going into at the moment, actually seeing if HEDS and HSD are one in the same condition. And it's thought from early outcomes of that research that they are, and they sit on a spectrum, that they are one condition. And that will all be published, and we will have an updated diagnostic criteria for all of EDS and HSD in December of 2026 this year. Got to get used to saying this year. So that's really exciting because we've waited since 2017 for that. And prior to that, we waited 2 decades. So we're really ramping up how often these get done and giving, I think, the community what they need, which is answers and more clarity, because the 2017 criteria is far from perfect.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about hypermobility and why it's minimized?
I think historically, hypermobility has been seen to be something quite benign. Yeah. And it's really difficult to educate people, but it's even harder to re-educate people as to what it actually means. And what do we mean, by EDS and HSD? Well, largely it's a connective tissue condition, which we believe is, well, we know for the rarer types is genetic, and we believe there is an element of it that could be genetic with hypermobile EDS and HSD as well, but we have yet to prove that. And it impacts everything from your head to your toe and all the systems in between. And you see a lot of comorbidities, some consistently seen, others not so consistently seen. And it's hard to always know what are related to EDS and HSD and what are just occurring in the population. But there is this sense that it just means you're a bit bendy. And we know now, and there's a ton of published evidence out there that tells us it's much, much more than that. It's, GI issues, it's ENT issues, it's mast cell issues, it's bladder issues, it's, gynae issues. It's really so many different things. And within each of those is a spectrum, and it affects people differently.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's largely hypermobile EDS and HSD. And then with the rarer types, there's obviously a lot more severe complications that you can see as well.
That's a wrap for this Quick Connect. I hope today's insights helped you move forward with more clarity and confidence. Do you have more questions? Keep them coming. Send them in, and I'll bring you the expert answers. You can send them in by using the link in the top of the description of this podcast episode, or by emailing contact@endobattery.com or visiting the endobattery.com contact page. Until next time, keep feeling empowered through knowledge.